Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss out on these hidden treasures that could be hiding in your own collection. Trust me, what we are talking about today is not just a coin. It's a piece of history that could be worth far more than you think. Now, let's talk about something that has fascinated collectors and history buffs alike for decades. A coin that carries not only value but a story of a country, a people, and a moment frozen in time. I'm talking about the South African 50-cent coin from 1973. Picture this. It's the early 1970s. South Africa is navigating a complex period in its history. The coin in your hand is more than just currency. It's a snapshot of an era. It represents a country rich in culture, resources, and traditions, captured in metal. For a coin collector, holding one of these is like holding a piece of the past, feeling the texture, examining the details, and imagining the hands that once used it in everyday life. What makes this coin particularly intriguing is its design and composition. It was struck with a keen eye for detail, featuring prominent symbols that resonate with the identity of South Africa at the time. Every line, every curve, every tiny detail tells a story. For those who appreciate craftsmanship, it's a masterpiece. For historians, it's a relic. And for collectors, it's a potential goldmine. But let's step back for a moment. Why should someone in our age group, men in their 50s, 60s, or beyond, care about a coin from over 50 years ago? The answer lies in legacy. Many of us grew up in a world where coins weren't just metal, they were part of our daily lives. They were used in shops, tucked into pockets, carried on bus rides, or given as allowances to children. This coin is a reminder of those days, a tangible link to a simpler time when currency had character and stories attached to it. If you've been sitting on old coins from decades past, it's worth considering. Some of these might be more valuable than you ever imagined. Not because they are flashy, but because they are rare, well-preserved, and historically significant. The 1973 South African 50-cent coin is one of those coins. And rarity is just one part of the story. Condition, demand, and historical context play huge roles in determining the coin's value. Coins that survived in excellent condition over 50 years often command significantly higher prices than ones that were heavily circulated. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The front, or obverse, often features symbols of the nation, a nod to its leadership and pride. The reverse carries additional imagery, sometimes referencing wildlife, heritage, or national emblems. Each element on the coin was chosen carefully, representing something about South Africa's identity during that period. For a collector, these details aren't just decorative, they're essential. They reveal the story behind the coin, adding depth and meaning that goes beyond mere monetary value. But here's where things get really exciting. Coins like this aren't just for show. There's a growing interest among collectors worldwide who are chasing after pieces that are unique and have a story. Over time, the scarcity of such coins, especially those in excellent condition, can drive their value dramatically. And while it may start as a small fascination, many collectors have discovered that their coin collection can grow into a serious investment. Think about it this way. We're not talking about digital assets or fleeting trends. We are talking about something tangible, something you can hold in your hand, something that has endured the test of time. There's a satisfaction that comes with that, a connection to history that modern technology can't replicate. And for many of us, appreciating these coins is not just about money, it's about pride, legacy, and the joy of discovery. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my coin is valuable? Well, that's where condition, rarity, and provenance come into play. Coins that are uncirculated or show minimal wear are always more desirable. Even small differences, like a unique minting error or a slight variation in design, can exponentially increase a coin's value. Collectors spend hours studying every detail under magnification, learning how to spot the subtle differences that make a coin exceptional. That if you're serious about collecting, it's worth investing in a proper case or protective sleeve to preserve your coins. This isn't just about maintaining their value, it's about honoring the history they represent. Every scratch removed, every mark avoided, every careful storage decision you make contributes to the legacy of that coin, ensuring that it can be appreciated for generations to come. And here's an interesting fact. The South African 50-cent coin of 1973 was minted during a period when the country was producing a relatively limited number of these coins. Unlike coins that were minted by the millions for everyday use, the supply was smaller, meaning the surviving examples today are rarer than you might expect. This rarity, combined with historical significance, is what makes this coin particularly attractive to collectors around the world. Now, let's talk about the thrill of discovery. Imagine sorting through an old coin collection, perhaps something you inherited from a parent or grandparent. You stumble upon this 1973 South African 50-cent coin, and suddenly, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a piece of history, a potential treasure, a conversation starter that could fascinate anyone who sees it. This is the exact moment that collectors live for, the moment of realization that what seemed ordinary could be extraordinary, and it's not just about nostalgia. The market for rare coins has grown tremendously over the last few decades. Serious collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that are rare, well-preserved, and historically significant. The 1973 South African 50-cent coin checks all these boxes. Its appeal spans generations, bridging the gap between history, art, and investment. So, if you've ever wondered whether your old coins might be worth something, this is a prime example of how history and rarity intersect to create real value. A coin from 1973, once used to buy everyday goods, could now be worth an incredible sum today, not just a few $100s, but tens of thousands for the most pristine examples. It's a reminder that treasures are often closer than we think, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be recognized by those who understand their worth. And here's the moment you've been waiting for. That humble 50-cent coin from South Africa, minted in 1973, has a market value that might shock you. Some of these coins, especially in excellent condition, can fetch up to $16 million in rare collector markets. That's right. What started as a simple piece of currency has transformed into a collector's dream and a staggering investment opportunity. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting to explore the world of coins, the 1973 South African 50-cent coin is a reminder of the incredible value hidden in history. It shows us that even the smallest, most overlooked objects can carry immense significance and worth. It's a story of craftsmanship, legacy, and the enduring fascination with coins that connect us to the past. If this has sparked your interest, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community. Every week, we uncover more hidden gems, fascinating stories, and incredible collectibles that might just be sitting in your own home. Remember, history is everywhere, and sometimes it comes in the form of a coin. Keep looking, keep exploring, and you never know, you might just find the next treasure that could change everything. Before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Go ahead and do it, because today's story will take you deep into the world of old coins, forgotten memories, and a piece of history from South Africa that most people have never truly looked at. This isn't just another coin video. This is a rediscovery, a reminder, a journey back to a time many of you lived through. And by the end of this video, you're going to hear a number that will make you rethink how you look at every old coin you've ever held. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the year 1977. Many of you watching were young men then. Strong, ambitious, full of drive, building careers, families, and futures. Radios were playing classics, the world was changing rapidly, and across the ocean, in South Africa, something small but meaningful was being struck at the mint. A coin. A simple 50-cent piece. Nothing flashy. Nothing unusual at first glance. But time has a way of transforming ordinary things into treasures. Picture that coin freshly minted. Cold metal, smooth edges, crisp details. The coat of arms standing proud as if carved yesterday. The flowers on the reverse side blooming in frozen artistry. That 1977 50-cent coin wasn't made of gold or silver. It wasn't a limited edition. It wasn't designed to be rare. It was designed to be practical. To circulate. To live in people's pockets, wallets, and change jars. And yet here we are, decades later, speaking about it as if it were a relic, because it is. This coin carries history. It carries stories. It carries the weight of a nation and the weight of time. Think about how many hands a single coin touches in its lifetime. How many counters it slides across. How many pockets it rattles in. How many moments it witnesses. A coin can pass through hundreds of lives without ever being noticed. But once it becomes old enough, once the years stack up, people finally begin to see it differently. Not as money, but as memory. Many of you watching this know exactly what I mean. You've lived long enough to understand what time does to objects. How a tool, a watch, a pocket knife, or even a simple coin becomes something more than its purpose. It becomes a part of your past. It becomes something worth keeping, But this coin, this 1977 South African 50-cent piece, hides a truth that most people never realized. Even though millions were minted, only a small fraction survive in good condition. Years of circulation wore them down. Scratches, dents, dull surfaces, faded details. A lot of them ended up damaged, lost, or melted. The few that remain clean and well-preserved are becoming scarce. Collectors today aren't just looking for any old coin. They are hunting for the survivors. The sharp ones. The preserved ones. The ones that still tell the story clearly. You know how it is with classic cars. Most rust away, but the untouched beauties become priceless. Coins follow the same rule. And imagine this. Somewhere out there, maybe even in your own drawer, there could be a 1977 coin that was never spent, never tossed in the laundry, never scraped in a cash register. A coin that someone held onto for reasons unknown, tucked away and forgotten. A coin that looks as if it came straight out of the mint yesterday. That is the type of coin that collectors dream about. The kind of piece that stops conversations in its tracks when someone opens a display case and reveals it. Because suddenly, it's not just currency. It's a time capsule. A piece of 1977 preserved in metal. Now imagine your younger self all those decades ago. You pull this coin from your pocket without a second thought. Maybe you bought a newspaper with it. Maybe an ice-cold drink. Maybe you paid a bus fare. You never thought that someday, half a century later, someone might look at that same coin and treat it like a treasure. Time changes everything. That's why so many collectors today are paying serious attention to coins from the 1970s and earlier. Not because they are all valuable, but because a small number of them, the best of the best, the untouched survivors, can turn out to be worth far more than anyone expects. And this is where the story takes its turn. Some claims circulating today speak of a 1977 South African 50-cent coin reaching astronomical value if found in an extraordinary, flawlessly preserved condition. A state so perfect it looks untouched by human hands. A condition so rare that it becomes almost mythical. And of course, that's what builds curiosity. That's what gets people searching their drawers, old boxes, and forgotten tins. Because once in a while, someone does find a long-lost gem. A coin that defies the odds. Now, I'm about to give you the number you've been waiting for. A number that seems impossible. A number that doesn't match the ordinary world of pocket change. But remember, this is not the value of a common, circulated coin. This is not the price of any coin you pick off the street. This number is connected to the dream scenario. The flawless specimen. The perfect survivor. The kind of coin that collectors argue over and auction houses whisper about. And that number is $5,900,000. Yes, you heard that right. 5.9 million. That is the figure often mentioned in claims about the highest possible estimated value for the rarest, most perfect example of this coin. A number so staggering it sounds unreal. A number that makes you look twice at the old coins in your home. A number that turns a 50-cent piece into a legend. So what does this mean for you? It means you should check your collection. Check your drawers. Check any old coin jars you've kept over the years. Because you never know what you might find. Maybe it's not the $1 million coin, but maybe it's something rare enough, clean enough, sharp enough, that a collector out there is willing to pay far more than you expect. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community, because what I'm about to show you today could change the way you look at history, wealth, and collecting forever. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single moment of this. Now, picture yourself stepping back into the mid-1970s. The world was changing rapidly. New music, new ideas, and new opportunities were shaping lives across continents. And somewhere in South Africa, a coin was quietly being minted that few would think much about at the time. But today, it carries a story worth millions. This isn't just metal shaped into a circle. It's a key to a moment in history, a silent witness to decades gone by, and for those who recognize its value, it's a gateway to extraordinary fortune. Imagine holding it in your hand. It's a South African 50-cent coin from 1975, perfectly preserved, carrying the weight of history and a legacy few fully understand. You might glance at it and see just a coin, just 50 cents, but this small, unassuming piece is packed with symbolism. Every detail, from its intricate engravings to the choice of metal, was carefully designed to reflect pride, culture, and a moment in time that defined a generation. For men of a certain age, coins like this do more than tell time, they tell stories. They remind you of days when life moved slower, when craftsmanship mattered, when every object had meaning beyond its monetary value. And this coin. It is the epitome of that era. Its design carries a message of resilience, a reflection of a nation's identity, and the meticulous attention to detail that collectors dream about. You feel that weight the moment you pick it up. It's not just metal, it's a bridge connecting decades, a tangible link to the past. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a coin, right? But here's where it gets fascinating. Coins from this period weren't made in huge quantities, and the 1975 50 cents is particularly rare in pristine condition. Over the years, the majority have been lost, damaged, or melted down. What remains are a handful of coins that are not only beautiful but incredibly powerful in the collector's market. This is exactly why seasoned collectors and investors keep a close eye on pieces like this. They aren't just investing in metal, they're investing in history, in rarity, and in value that appreciates with time. Think about your own life for a moment. You've seen markets rise and fall, currencies come and go, and trends appear overnight. But history, true history, always holds value. And this coin is living proof. It's like owning a small piece of a story that generations will talk about. Every scratch, every shine, every detail adds to its character and tells a story of endurance. It's the kind of object that sparks conversation, draws attention, and quietly impresses anyone who sees it in your collection. And speaking of collections, many collectors will tell you that the thrill of the hunt is part of the joy. But the real satisfaction, it's holding that rare gem in your hand and knowing you are one of the few in the world who possess it. Imagine showing this coin to a friend or a fellow collector. The story of its origin, the scarcity, the legacy of South Africa in the mid-70s. You're not just showing a coin, you're sharing a treasure, a connection to history, and an object that carries prestige. That feeling is priceless. This coin also represents an era when quality mattered more than quantity. Every engraving was intentional, every mint carefully calculated. Unlike mass-produced items today, this coin was made to endure, to be admired, and to tell a story across generations. And it has done just that. In the hands of the right person, it transforms from a simple collectible to a symbol of legacy, status, and appreciation for things that truly endure. You might be wondering about its appeal today. The market for rare coins has exploded over the last decade, particularly among seasoned collectors who understand the value of rarity and historical significance. A coin like this doesn't just sit in a collection. It becomes a centerpiece, a conversation starter, and in many cases, a serious investment. Men who appreciate history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery will recognize its importance immediately. And the best part? Its value doesn't just rest in its rarity. It rests in the stories it tells, the history it represents, and the pride of ownership it gives to the collector. Now, let's bring this into perspective. Think about the thrill of finding an item that few others in the world can claim. A coin that has endured nearly 50 years, survived historical events, and remained virtually untouched. It's a testament to patience, care, and a deep understanding of value beyond the obvious. It's not just something you hold, it's something you respect, treasure, and watch grow in significance over time. For viewers like you, experienced, discerning, and appreciative of history, this isn't just another collectible. It's a symbol of achievement, a token of legacy, and a rare chance to own something that very few people can. And the fact that it's from 1975? That makes it even more fascinating. It connects you to a specific moment in South Africa, a time when coins were more than currency. They were artistry, pride, and a reflection of cultural identity. Every collector knows the feeling. You come across an item that seems ordinary at first glance, but the closer you examine it, the more extraordinary it becomes. You appreciate the engravings, the mint marks, the history embedded in its surface. And slowly, you realize that what you hold is not just a coin. It's a piece of living history, a tangible connection to a past that few today truly understand. It's an object that rewards curiosity, patience, and attention to detail. And the 1975 South African 50 cents is exactly that. By now, you might be imagining where this could fit in your own life, your collection, or even as a legacy to pass on. There's a sense of pride in holding something rare, something unique, something that speaks to decades of history and craftsmanship. You're not just owning a coin, you're owning a story, a memory, and a potential fortune that grows as others come to recognize its value. So, without further suspense, here's the moment you've been waiting for. The 1975 South African 50-cent coin, in pristine condition, is not just a collectible. It's a treasure that has reached astonishing heights in the rare coin market. Its value, for those fortunate enough to own it today, is estimated at an astounding $12 million. $12 million. A small coin, a piece of history, and a legacy that could redefine your collection and your understanding of true value. If you've enjoyed this journey into history, rarity, and wealth, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss another story that could change your perspective or your life. Because coins like this aren't just collectibles. They're keys to understanding the past and seizing opportunities for the future.
It's more than just a coin. The 1980 South African 50 cents is a tangible piece of history, a silent witness to decades past, crafted not from luxury metals, but from nickel, yet carrying a wealth of meaning far beyond its material. When you hold it, you hold a story of South Africa during the late 20th century, of national identity, of art, and of currency change. In 1980 the Union, later Republic of South Africa, was still under the system that issued coins featuring the coat of arms on one face and native flora on the other. This 50 cents coin belongs to the second decimal series, introduced in 1965, which replaced the earlier pre-decimal 5 shillings coin. That earlier coin was made of silver, but from 1965 onwards, the 50 cents denomination was struck in nickel fine, a more durable choice for general circulation. Online coin.club +2 Munstack International Coins +2. This coin weighs 9.50 grams, measures about 27.85 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of approximately 2.20 to 2.21 millimeters. Munstack International Coins +2 Online coin.club +2. Its edge is plain, smooth, no ridges, no special indentations. Online coin.club +1. It was produced by the South African Mint, sometimes referred to as the Pretoria or Centurion Mint. When it was issued, nearly 4.3 million were struck, more exactly, around 4,268,000 in the regular circulation mintage, plus small figures for proof and others. Veronum +2 Online coin.club +2. On one face, the coin shows the coat of arms of South Africa. This emblem is rich in symbolism, quartered shield-bearing iconography for the 4 provinces, Transvaal, Cape Province, Natal, and the Orange Free State. Supporting animals, crest, shield, all of them carry weight. Around the central arms, in bold yet elegant lettering, are the dual names South Africa and SUID Afrika, indicating both English and Afrikaans. The date, 1980, sits beneath. And in near-invisible script, the initials TS, for Tommy Sassin, the designer, appear. Online coin.club +2 Munstack International Coins +2. Flip it over, and you find a beautiful arrangement of 3 flowers, the arum lily, the African lily, and the striking strelitzia, better known as bird of paradise. These are not random decorative additions, they speak of South Africa's natural wealth, of endemic flora, of landscapes and gardens one can imagine under expensive South African skies. To the right is the large numeral +50, for 50 cents. Again, the designer's initials are discreetly included. Online coin.club +1. Though made for circulation, coins of this sort have gradually been withdrawn. The 1980 50 cents was in use up until coins were redesigned and new materials introduced, notably when the third decimal series came in around 1990, featuring smaller steel-based coins. Online coin.club +1. Thus, while many saw everyday use, surviving specimens with strong detail, minimal wear, sharp edges, crisp artwork, and clean fields are becoming harder to find. Those are the ones collectors truly covet. Rarity for this coin is moderate to scarce, depending heavily on condition. Because millions were produced, common or heavily worn examples are abundant. But well-preserved pieces, especially uncirculated examples, or those with proof strikes, fetch attention. Coins having bright surfaces, no corrosion, crisp lettering, and well-defined design elements command premium among numismatists. Some may even seek versions with particular die varieties, though for 1980 the regular variety is the standard. Online coin.club +2 Munstack International Coins +2. The imagery itself carries weight, the coat of arms speaks of province, unity, history. The flowers speak of natural beauty and national pride. The bilingual inscriptions tell of a multilingual society. The choice of metal and size reflect economic choices of the era, nickel for durability in daily use, rather than precious metals, and a substantial size so that 50 cents felt like a meaningful denomination. The transition from this large, nickel coin to later, smaller steel ones marks a shift, of economy, of practicality, and of the symbols used by a country changing both politically and socially. Holding one of these coins today is to touch the transition. Collectors often evaluate such a coin along several axes: grade, rarity, eye appeal, toning, luster, strike quality, centering, and surface condition. A nicely struck 1980 50 cents with even color, clear floral details, no dings or gouges, sharp edges, and full inscriptions can look stunning, especially when held against light or viewed under a magnifier. In contrast, a coin that is heavily circulated, worn down, with flattened rims or faded design details, will appeal mostly for its historical value rather than as an investment piece. As for market values, common, circulated 1980 50 cents coins often sell for very modest sums, just a few dollars depending on condition. But in contrast, pristine examples, or those certified by grading authorities, can trade for far higher prices. When collectors want one of superb condition, perhaps in proof or near-proof state, or with exceptional toning or uniqueness, the value steps up dramatically. This coin also tells a personal story. Imagine someone putting it in their pocket to pay for daily items in 1980 South Africa. It passed from hands, from markets, from buses, maybe from school fees, groceries, or travel. Over time, many were lost, others damaged, others melted down or discarded. Few survived in excellent shape. Thus each surviving high-grade specimen is a survivor of time. If you want to display one, such a coin is perfect for numismatic showcases, albums, coin cases, lecterns with soft fabric, light angle to show the relief on the arms, the petals of the flowers, the shine of the nickel without overglare. It's not just a coin, it's a talking piece. For history lovers, for art lovers, for those who treasure symbols, for collectors who appreciate national identity embodied in metal, the legacy of this 1980 50 cents coin lives on in museums, in private collections, in online galleries. It is catalogued under KM number 87. It is studied, admired, traded, preserved. Its story is a reminder that even everyday objects, the coins in one's change, can carry stories of nations, cultures, artistry, and change.